The Secret Hotel in Berlin by Catherine Hokin, published by Bookouture, and this is a dual timeline novel that is set very much in Berlin, pre-World War II, World War II, and then as the wall has fallen, so early 1990s. And it tells the story of Lili in the earlier years and Lucy in the 1990s. And I think what I very much enjoyed about this novel is that it runs its dual timeline narrative very well, and it kind of explains a lot of the events and puts them in context in a very readable way. So the whole story of Berlin over the last decades really comes to vibrant life in this author's very capable hands. The first story is that of Lili. Now, Lili has been growing up in Leipzig. This is pre-World War II. The Nazis are coming to power. She's from a Jewish family, and her father gets killed on the synagogue steps. So at that point, she decides to go to Berlin, set up a florist shop in Mitte, use the money that her father has left her, and she covers up who she really is. So to all intents and purposes, she passes as Aryan. She meets Marius, and Marius's family own the Edel Hotel, and I think the author describes incredibly well the kind of lush circumstances that some of these hotels at that time had. We can visit the Adlon Hotel, which is by the Brandenburg Gate, which is not in fact the hotel that you would have seen at that point. It burnt down and it's been sort of, rebuilt, and it's all very, very fancy. But you get a sense of the pomposity, of the luxury, of the sophistication that some of these hotels that existed pre-World War II had. They do in fact marry, but she keeps who she is a secret from everybody around her until things become so difficult that she is almost pushed into a corner and has to decide what she's going to do. Fast forward to the 1990s, and there is Lucy, who is tasked with finding a hotel for her boss to take over, with lots of original bits and pieces. And she looks into the life of the people who owned the Edel Hotel and decides that that is the hotel that they will acquire, and with it comes a great sense of history. And I think what the author does really well is kind of cover Berlin over the decades of these sort of, momentous events, World War II lead up, and also the events that went on then, and the 1990s just after the wall came down. And she sets out the history. It's clearly very well researched, this novel. So I think if you want to get a sense of the footsteps past, through the eyes of two very different women, then I think The Secret Hotel in Berlin by Catherine Hokin is really one to take before you go to Berlin, because it sets in context a lot of historical facts and events that really make sense in this novel. She lays it out beautifully, and the writing style is really just lovely. So this is a very engrossing book that really transports you to Berlin.